Eyes of Autonomy, Ch.8. Mom answers the phone before I can step onto the coarse wooden porch. I watch her small body pace back and forth as she nods and mutters, uh-huh. I listen intently, wondering if the capitalist leaders have agreed to my terms. I imagine it is when Mom says, thank you, but we're not interested. She slams the home phone back on the line. Who was it? I dash into the house, with Peanut at my heels. Why are you up so early? She rummages through a couple copper pans that line the beatboard walls. I was genetically modified to wake up no later than 6 a.m. Who was on the phone? Why, if you've been up for an hour, you should have made coffee yourself. I cross my arms and wait for her answer as she puts water onto the stove. I gaze closely at the decor in the kitchen as I wait for her to answer me. None of the pictures on the walls are hung perfectly. They're all slanted and placed at mismatched frames. The counters are cluttered with dirty dishes and leftovers that were neglected last night. The Grand Master would have never let the mess hall get this dirty. It's a strange paradox that this mess of a home, in its own strange way, is a statement of freedom of choice. The family chooses to place things imperfectly throughout the house, and that's a freedom I was never allowed until now. Peanut starts yapping as a knock falls on the door. His bark is so shrill that Mom nearly spills her pot of boiling water onto the unstained wooden floors. That dumb dog's gonna wake your father up. Mom pushes me aside and runs to the door. I follow and collect Peanut. Az stands with a hint of a smile across his face. He looks so different in his well-worn farm clothes, his rugged jeans and cotton shirt. He almost looks like a non-modified person. I'm aware that I'll never quite look fully normal because of my freakish blue eye that looks unnatural with my jet black hair. Morning, ma'am. Morning, Piper. What brings you by so early, Mom says. Didn't you get the call? Piper, they accepted your offer. They're going to provide us with a plane and proper weapons. It's the last mission, I promise, Miss Cohen. Her cheeks flushed red against her pale face. No. I said no. You're both too young. She storms into the kitchen. What changed your mind? I nudged with a hint of a smile across my face. Az shrugs. To be fair, not a day goes by that I don't regret creating a lot of weapons for the state. It's about time I set things right. Plus, I like your agreement to help the Texans if we help you. We'll only be gone for a week or less, I tell Mom, who's bent over a pot of boiling water. She's as stubborn as Ross. No, I just got you back. You're not ready to handle this kind of thing. The state thought I was ready to be sent on a mission, I half lie. The state didn't care if you died or lived doing it. I do. I can't argue. Life was a renewable resource in the eyes of the state. She's right. But it's selfish to disappear into a life with little brothers and pets when Gia and Ross may be facing some kind of legal injection. Az pulls me away. Do you still like a little rebellion? I don't know if I like it against these people, but do I have a choice? I whisper. Meet me on the airfield at midnight. Oh, and bring a jacket. We're headed to North Dakota. Do you want breakfast? Mom yells over the sound of the kettle whistling. No, ma'am, I already ate, but thank you. I'll see you soon, Az nods at me with a smile. I blink and nod back, but I don't feel like smiling. Mom turns to face me as she pours water into the French press. I said no and I mean it. I know, don't worry. I'm gonna do the right thing. I say with just enough ambiguity not to feel guilty about lying. I sit on my bed and watch the hours pass, trying to write a note to Mom and Dad. I'm not trying to be rebellious, but no matter what I do, I'm making the wrong choice. But no, going to save Gia and Ross isn't selfish. It's selfless. Mom and Dad will have to understand that. I almost want to apologize, but that seems pathetic. I have nothing to apologize for because this is the right choice. Plus, I can't show any weakness in my letter. So I write to them the same promise I plan on keeping. I'll be back. Piper O'Prey. I turn to see Jill at the door holding Peanut. I see you two are getting along, I laugh, looking at the Chihuahua, who has bulging eyes. I always wanted a dog, but Mom and Dad always said no. He laughs with his toothless smile. Look, I have another tooth loose. He sticks his finger in his mouth to show me. Gross, I don't want to see that. I smile, pretending to gag. Sorry, I forgot you're a girl. Josh and I do this stuff all the time, 'cause we're boys. He assures me. When I get back, I'll show you I'm cool enough to hang out with you. Have you ever fought anyone before? I cross my arms. I can't fight. He points at the wheelchair. Wait, what do you mean when you get back? From where? So what? You can still learn to punch. Then I realize I've let too much information slip. When I get back from school, I cover. While I'm gone, if you're at home, take care of Peanut for me. Okay, Piper. He gives me a weird look. He's too smart for my bullcrap cover-up. See you at dinner, then. I'm going to read. I close the door as he leaves. Then I grab my machete on my dresser and put it into my backpack. But Ross's cowboy hat catches my eye. In the mirror, it looks ridiculous wearing cargo pants and a cowboy hat. But the memory of Ross is strangely fond. I hate everything about him. But I kind of miss the way that he gets on my last nerves. I miss how he makes me smile with his stupid humor, so I keep the hat on as I slip out the window. Walking to the airport takes the whole afternoon, and the sun has just started to set when I get there. The airfield is covered in swamps of bugs that cling to my damp skin, so I feel like the shower never left. Az stands alone by the silver aviation beauty. Its small, slender airplane with triangular wings that makes it look like a life-size paper airplane. The light from the control tower glimmer off the airplane's smooth facade. It looks fast. Az touches the smooth outline of the door. This baby will get us there in 2 hours flat. Where's Lily? She's staying with Miss Jones, so it's just us on this mission. I didn't want to bring her on the last mission. She's the one who snuck on the plane. Miss Jones must be the old widow that took them in. Who's going to fly? It flies itself. It's called the Casanova. The cockpit smells like a new leather jacket. Az tells me that all the Texans' weapons, including the plane, are made in Dallas. This jet has no knobs or switches, unlike the aircraft Ross and I used to hide peanut butter in. There's only one huge touch screen and a flight plan heading straight to a snow-covered wasteland. Az messes with the screen, initiates a smooth takeoff. A smile creeps onto his face, and he claims that he can fly just as Lily can. You know, I don't know that much about you. Az looks directly at me for the first time. I don't know that much about myself. If you weren't modified, what would you want to do, like a career? I only know how to fight, but I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. I can't stop imagining Mom's reaction to finding my room empty tomorrow morning. It makes the guilt creep up inside me and turn my stomach again. But it's impossible not to hurt someone. I've always thought I'd be good at espionage or something. Of course, that's all I was raised to be good at. I know what you mean. The shielding can scare you into thinking that you're a monster, but you're not. You're just like everyone else, because everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something unique to offer. Don't be afraid to offer your skill to the world. We should actually try and get some rest, because I'll need your skill in a few hours. What would you do if you weren't modified? I nuzzle into the chair and try to get comfortable in the cold atmosphere. I'm doing it. Az removes his jacket. Here, you need it up here more than I do. I reluctantly take it and shift the hat over my eyes. I feel a release as I try to fight the sappy words that come out. Thank you. Nice hat. His monotone voice catches me off guard. I'd let you wear it, but I think it's too small for you, I smile. It's too big for you, for sure. Ross should have kept it. It matches his lifeless eyes better anyway. You're just jealous he didn't give it to you, I laugh. I hear him snicker before he gazes in the obscure moonless sky. The ride goes by with little turbulence. I even sleep for a moment, until the state picks up on our aircraft. Wake up, we have company 10 miles from headquarters. Az paces in the tight cockpit. I hardly comprehend what he said, when out of the black abyss a blinking red light gets closer. It takes a moment before I realize it's an enemy aircraft. A flare simmers off the war machine as it approaches us. The impact of the hit throws me onto one of the screens. The glass shatters and dispenses like water from a tap. But the screen didn't die on impact. Now it's warning that one of the engines is down. I rub my aching eyes as the plane jerks violently again. Now they're really starting to tick me off. I hold my knife tightly as if I can stop that engineering marvel with a dull blade. My heart beats in my throat. I attempt to calm Az by pointing out that the enemy aircraft didn't take out our other two propellers. He can't hear me over the scream of twisting metal. 2 engines are down, and the altimeter is starting to list and dive. It's getting kind of smoky, I warn as I look for a way to land. As the plane lists, the G-force makes my arms feel 3 times heavier. As I reach for the controls, I feel like I'm lifting a bowling ball. You don't know how to fly, Az screams. The F-22 circles back and fires again. A fire explodes in the left wing, and Az's face is sheet white as he mutters a few prayers in confession. I didn't know he was religious. I reach for the control button, my plane. The screen opens and a joystick slides out. My fingers naturally feel the controls. All the buttons are familiar. I pull up on the stick as hard as I possibly can, but get very little lift. Tree, Az points out too late. The wings clip the forest, and the tree limbs snap, the left wing clear off. All we can do is brace. I brace against the controls as the trees and flames engulf the metal around us. Az grabs my hand as a Casanova finds the forest floor. It sounds like gunfire against a moving freight train as it slams into the ground. The force holds me to the controls until it stops. I sit up dazed and listen to the wilting metal groan. I try and take a deep breath, but the smoke is getting thick. As I cough, trying to see through the smoke, I hear more glass break. Piper, come on. He puts his hand out through what was the cockpit window. I stumble into the freezing snow as he drags me away from the burning plane. I watch horrified as the once sleek, handsome jet is reduced to nothing but twisted metal and smoke. The flames eat the glossy enamel, staining it all black. I don't even recognize the plane that was brand new and beautiful an hour ago. It's gone, reduced to nothing but smoke, fire, and metal. My jacket wasn't there. I mourn as the north wind hits my back. The trees cast a black shadow, only lightened by the white snow. My legs sink in two. We trudge knee-deep in the cold mush towards where we think the town is. I've only taken 10 steps, but my teeth chatter so hard that they may break each other. Ross's oversized hat offers my ears little protection from the biting wind, but not enough for my ears to not go numb. Az tries to explain his plans to break into the lab, but I can hardly hear it over his now raspy voice.